Hey everyone, and welcome back. So finally, today is the big day. Friday, March 14th, which actually is Pi Day, just sort of a side thing. And Obviously today is the pre-order date that has gone up on the Grindhouse releasing website for Lucio Fulci's The Beyond in 4K. Now I'm going to cover that after I get to just a couple other things. But if you're dying to pre-order it, why don't you go over their website, pre-order it, and then hopefully come back, watch the rest of the video. So before I get to The Beyond, just a couple things. Kino has announced coming soon, a 4K release of Airplane 2, the sequel. Now we've already gotten the first one from Paramount, and now Kino is putting out the sequel. Again, no further details, just says coming soon, as I assume some point later this year. Also, Sony has announced coming May 27th is the 4K release of John Carpenter's Starman. It is going to be in a steelbook, just a heads up on that. Now, that was released already in that Columbia box set, volume 3, 4, I forget what it was, which obviously was actually the only reason why I bought that box set. Nothing wrong with the other movies in the set. Actually, it's very good movies, but I admit that was the number one reason. Fine, and actually some of you may remember that was actually one of my favorite releases of last year, of 2024. So luckily, getting a separate release now, and highly recommended for me. Again, it is identical to that release, including all the same extras and everything. And again, that is due out May 27th. And before I get to The Beyond, I do want to go over this quickly, not too quickly. I do want to cover a couple details, but quickly. Criterion has announced their June titles, and actually, unless I'm mistaken, this is actually one of their bigger months as far as there's like 7, right? I think it's 7 titles, and they're usually like 5 or something. Anyway, but some some great ones here, especially one specifically I'm massively excited for. There's going to be 2 Blu-ray releases, and I believe that all the rest of them are 4K and Blu-ray. So 4K with included Blu-ray, and also a Blu-ray released separately. Just heads up in case I forget. I believe all the 4K releases are retail for $49.95, and then the Blu-rays retail for $39.95. So first up is a Blu-ray of the documentary Thelonious Monk, Straight No Chaser, if I can speak correctly, due out June 17th, and this is about the jazz artist Thelonious Monk. From 1988, does have a new transfer, an introduction by the director, an interview with the son of Thelonious Monk, as well as a new program about the making of the film with a couple of interviews and the trailer. Next up, coming June 17th, is a Blu-ray release of the comedy classic Midnight from 1939, getting a new restoration, a new commentary track with author and film critic Michael Koreski, audio excerpts from a 1969 interview with director Mitchell Leeson, a Lux Radio Theater adaptation of the film from 1940, plus the trailer. And then the rest of these are going to be 4K releases with a separate Blu-ray release as well. 4Ks do also come with a Blu-ray. So first up is 32 short films about Glenn Gould, due out June 24th. Has a new 4K restoration approved by director Francois Gerard. Also a commentary track with the director and co-writer and actor Don McKellar. A new conversation between the director and filmmaker Adam McGowan. Glenn Gould off the record and Glenn Gould on the record, a companion program from 1959 produced for Canadian television. Archival interviews with actor Colm Fiore and producer Niv Fitchman, as well as the trailer. Next up is the Paul Schrader film from 1985, Mishima, Life in 4 Chapters, about the Japanese author and playwright Yukio Mishima. His first name is a little tough for me to pronounce. Has a 4K restoration of the director's cut approved by Paul Schrader and the cinematographer. 2 alternate English narrations, including one by actor Roy Scheider, plus a commentary track with Paul Schrader and producer Alan Powell. Program on the making of the film featuring cinematographer John Bailey, producer John Letty, and Mata Yamamoto, plus composer Philip Glass, production designer Iko Ishioka. Program on the author featuring his biographer John Nathan and friend Donald Ritchie. Audio interview with the co-screenwriter Chico Schrader. Interview excerpt from 1966 featuring Mishima talking about writing, The Strange Case of Yukio Mishima, a 1985 documentary about the author, plus the trailer. Almost done with the Criterion stuff, and then we'll get to the Beyond. Next up, coming June 10th, is The Wiz, the Sidney Lumet film from 1979? 78, starring Diana Ross, which, if you don't know, it was a sort of a remake of Wizard of Oz, but set in sort of the inner city with black cast, also starring young Michael Jackson, or younger Michael Jackson, as the Scarecrow. And that has, let's see, a new 4K restoration approved by producer Rob Cohen, a new commentary track featuring scholars Michael B. Gillespie and Alfred L. Martin, archival interviews with director Sidney Lumet and actor Diana Ross, as well as the trailer. Two more, and then we'll get to the Beyond. Although I think the next two, a lot of you would be kind of excited about. So next one, coming June 3rd, again, 4K, Blu-ray, is a new release of Brazil, Terry Gilliam's Brazil from 1985. Does have a new restoration approved by Terry Gilliam of the director's cut. And then some of this, because Criterion has put out this before, so I believe it just ports over all the pre-existing stuff, commentaries and the interviews and stuff. I don't think there's anything new here. I don't think so, so I'm just going to keep moving, but that is a very cool one that is finally coming to 4K. I have a feeling that one's going to actually look really great in 4K. And then finally, we get to the last one to Criterion, and then we can get to the Beyond. But this is the one of the Criterion ones that I am mostly excited about, and that is indeed coming June 24th, is a 4K release, separate Blu-ray as well, of William Friedkin's Sorcerer, which that should look pretty amazing in 4K, in my opinion. Has a 4K restoration approved by William Friedkin, obviously before he passed. Obviously, not to point out the obvious. And this actually will be a 3-disc set, one 4K, and actually 2 Blu-rays. The extra Blu-ray will have a bunch of the extras, so the Blu-ray release will have 2 discs. And a couple of extras here, including the documentary Friedkin Uncut from 2018, obviously about his career, including interviews with a bunch of people, a new conversation between filmmaker James Gray and film critic Sean Fennessy, an archival audio interview with Green and editor Bud Smith, conversation from 2015 between Friedkin and filmmaker Nicholas Winding Refn, behind the scenes footage, as well as the trailer. I love Sorcerer. Actually, the one time I actually met William Friedkin was at a special screening of Sorcerer, which was one of my favorite nights. I absolutely love that night all around. And I know he has a reputation for being kind of hard on set, but in person, he could not have been nicer. And finally, we get to the big one, of course, is from Grindhouse releasing the 4K release of Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Waiting, it feels like forever for this one, but it is indeed here. And of course, this is a massive set. It has a 4K disc, 3 Blu-rays, a DVD, yes, as well as a CD. And it's going to be a nice set with a 100-page book, with a book of Ebon packaging, as well as a super deluxe slipcover with beautiful new artwork, as well as a web store exclusive Eerie Eyeball. And this set is limited to 3,500. Now briefly, and actually I didn't know about this, unfortunately by the time I found out it already sold out, but I'm just going to mention it real quick. There actually was an extra set that same thing, had all the same stuff, but also came with a Joe the Plumber figure. That was only limited to 10. Now, you can actually still get the figure, at least as of this recording. I hope it's still available if you want it, on the Paul Bearer Press website. It does cost $125 though, so just a heads up. But I think overall that figure is limited to 100 or maybe even 90 because there were 10 in this bundle. But again, the bundle is sold out, so just because they only made 10. But the regular version is still available. All right, so let's get to this release. Just go over the details real quick. Now, pretty much most of this is just ported over from their previous Blu-ray release from a few years ago. Now, the retail price is $84.95. It is up for pre-order on the Grindhouse Release website for $66.66. Very cute. So there are going to be 2 versions of the film, well, actually technically 3 versions of the film on this release. Now as far as the 4K release, it is going to, obviously it has the film. I'm going to go over all the details in just a second. But it's going to have, which I believe the only difference is audio. So it's not like it's a different cut or anything, but it does have obviously the uncut version as well as the producer's cut, which is the version that kind of toured around with composer Fabio Frizzi, where he would do the score live, but it was a new score that he did for the film, and that new score version, or the version of the film with the new score, is included on, I believe, a separate audio track. And there are a couple of audio options. So anyway, real quick, it does have a new 4K scan from the original Techniscope camera negative. Obviously, we'll have, again, the composer's audio cut as an option in 5.1 surround sound. Then also has an archival 5.1 audio as well, plus both the original theatrical mono mix of both the Italian version and the English dub version. Most of this other stuff is ported over. I was going to mention it real quick. It does have 3 commentary tracks with the cinematographer, makeup artist, and of course stars Katrina McCall and David Warbeck. In-depth interviews with Lucio Fulci, a bunch of the cast, writers, like almost everybody from the film. Not going to go through all the names there, but that's a great bunch of stuff, and that was ported over, which I'm glad. Plus, it does have a newly discovered archival interviews with Katrina McCall and David Warbeck, extensive still galleries and theatrical trailers, and then it has that 100-page book. Now, the included DVD will have the US edited version of the film under the title of The Seven Doors of Death. The notorious Aquarius Pictures version presented with its original Dolby Stereo mix from the original analog 1-inch video master, accompanied by new interviews with editor Jim Markovic and distributor Terry Levine, which is cool. I'm glad that's on here. I think the only thing I'm kind of bummed about, though, is the fact that I kind of wish that was not DVD. I kind of wish they were even just, it doesn't have to be 4K, but even if it was just like HD, even if it was a little rough, if they could just do a new scan, even if it was a print. Minor thing, but just kind of saying. I do kind of hope, and I can't remember, was it on the Blu-ray release? I'm blanking at the moment, but I hope it's a hidden Easter egg somewhere. I do hope that it has an old VHS copy of the film. Was that on the Blu-ray release? I'm blanking. Anyway, whether it was or wasn't, it'd be nice if it was on here. And it does come with a CD of the soundtrack. Now, it is by Fabio Frizzi, but it's not the original soundtrack. It is his newer the newer music that he did. Now, the original soundtrack was on the older Blu-ray release. You can get it separately as well. But just a heads up that it is the newer music. And their website does say other surprises as well. Now, what those are, I'm sure it's just porting over everything from the previous Blu-ray release. I think the funny thing is the listing on their website for the older Blu-ray release, even to this day, at the bottom still, lists some of the extras and still says, it other surprises, which, the listing was never updated. Not that that matters. I'm just saying. And I also need to mention that the Blu-ray, I don't know whether or not all the Blu-rays in this set, for sure the movie version of it, hopefully the extras aren't, but you may have to assume that, the movie version is going to be Region A locked. The Blu-ray, not 4K is region free, but the Blu-ray's Region A locked. Hopefully the Blu-rays with the extras on it is region free. Unfortunately, I don't know right now. And again, that is slated to start shipping in April next month. So yeah, I'm so excited for this. I am really, really happy. We're actually getting more Fulci in 4K. I mean, I'm actually surprised we've gotten as much as we have already. And this was definitely one of the big ones. I definitely got my pre-order in. Unfortunately, I was not home this morning. So as soon as I got back, that was the first thing I did. Literally just went to the computer, sat down and got my pre-order in. This is also when I saw that, bundle where they only had 10. Now, I will say I'm kind of proud of myself because as much as it would have been cool to have that Joe the Plumber figure, even though it's available separately, I was just like, I'm not going to get it. I would have gotten the bundle, but for some reason having it separate, it was just kind of like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend the money, which is what I'm trying to cut back on, a lot of spending, a lot of buying extra stuff, which might be cool in the moment, but I need to kind of let some of that go. So on very small level, I guess I pat myself on the back for that, for whatever it's worth. So that's it for this video. I know a couple of stuff I sort of I think I went too fast. Hopefully I didn't mumble through some of it. But again, a lot of cool stuff going. Sometimes you get these, you hear about, physical media is coming to an end or something. It's like, no, it's not. Yes, it's a niche market, but man, it's thriving just fine. And all these upcoming releases just prove that. So let me know your thoughts on these announcements. Let me know if you got in your order of the Beyond, or if you're planning to place your order for the Beyond. Am I pronouncing that way? The Beyond. It kind of felt like I was like screwing up the Beyond. I must be talking too fast. It's not like I've had extra coffee today, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, enough of me blah blah blah. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.